welcome back to the Will Sims podcast. My guest today is Marshall Stone. Me and Marshall go way back. I can't remember the first time we met. We've probably been to so many shows and seen each other's bands and stuff over the
It,
years.
it was probably during the Noise in the Basement days that I think we first met. Like whether it was on a project or just by association and everything. And then things just sort of went from there. We both got to see each other in different projects and everything. And now we're just seeing each other do different things in another viewpoint too. So,
Yeah, we're both pretty busy these days. I know you're playing out a lot. I've had a pretty steady stream of gigs myself. Um, so yeah, basically, uh, you've got the new album that just came out this
yeah, I
year.
released that back in May. I've been trying to get it out for a while, but the problem was I was just doubting myself when it came to just thinking it's just like, are these songs good enough? Should I release them and everything? Because it's really just a case where you get like imposter syndrome for a while when you're like, are you worthwhile as more as a cover artist or as an original writer? And I thought it's time to get rid of that doubt. I need to just release it. So,
Yeah, it's always tricky. I've always been ever since I started doing the Will Sims thing, I've been kind of I was just kind of I went right into like multiple studios and I was recording a lot of projects.
yeah,
So for probably about 10 years now, I've been like an album ahead. So I'm always sitting on something that hasn't come out yet.
yeah, it's
But
awesome.
it's very easy to just it's easy to put something out and just be like, cool, it's out there. But I think it's tough. You wanna make sure when you put it out that like people are gonna be aware of it and check it out and stuff. So
Yeah, like you treat these projects like with a lot of your heart, and it always gets you whenever it just doesn't have the reception or the overall just like viewpoint that you wanted. But when it happens, you just keep on keeping on and do the best that you can. So.
nice. Well, we're gonna get into the album, but I want to talk. I want to go way back first. So um, I usually ask people about like kind of their first memories in terms of music. So do you know like what one of the first songs you can ever remember hearing or like singing along to as a
It
kid?
had to it had to be different instances with CDs my dad had when it came to greatest hits compilations, Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, and everything. It was pretty much all of the songs that, like for the most part, I fell in love with. He always had this thing where he would always get greatest hits because it's like, oh no, the albums suck. I just wanted to listen to
Yeah,
those.
yeah, yeah. My dad
So
had a lot of those too.
yeah, so it ended up. I think one of the first songs I really gravitated towards was "Painted Black" by the Rolling Stones. That
Nice.
was one that really stuck with me when I was around like 8 or 9 years old. But at the same time, I think it was because like I ended up getting a rated M game that I was playing, Twisted Metal Black at the time that had that
Yes,
song on there.
dude. I just watched that Twisted Metal show that's out, and
Yeah,
it's a fun time. It's a fun
yeah,
time.
it's very campy and goofy, but at the same time, if you know the franchise, it's pretty much to be expected.
Yeah, yeah, I felt like they did a pretty good job with that. But yeah, that's cool. Also
Yeah.
bonus
So
points for like video game soundtrack, it's cool
mhm.
when
Yeah, when I'm not doing music, I do go back to like retro gaming a bunch. So
nice.
mm,
Cool. Do you remember the first like album or CD you ever bought?
I ever bought. That's tough because it used to be my parents that would just buy me stuff, but for me,
What's like
um,
one of the first ones you remember having? Like maybe you listened to it on repeat a lot.
um, His greatest hits. That was it was the Gold album in particular. It was like I love the Gold series where they just do like two CDs of random bands and
That's
everything.
cool. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of people on here talk about Kiss, so it's kind of
Mhm.
cool. For
That
me,
was
like
probably one where it's weird because like when you talk about like you think about bands like back in the day that you could just like relax on your bed to and you could like just fall asleep to but for relaxation and everything. That was one of them where you just think oh, maybe they fell asleep because the album sucked. No, it's just more just relaxing and everything.
Nice.
Mhm.
So, from what I understand, you're kind of multi instrumentalist, right? You can play a bunch of different stuff, right?
Yeah, I primarily vocals and guitar, but I know piano, I know bass, and I know hand percussion at least to get by and everything.
Nice. What was your first instrument?
Probably guitar. It took 3 attempts for me to actually like it. The first time it was with this cheap little secondhand guitar, and I was more interested in just intentionally breaking the strings rather than playing it because I just had that sort of like chaotic destructive streak that I was on when I was around like 9 or 10 years old and
Was there
everything.
like a what was there like a song or a band you were trying to like emulate? Like was there like a something you were going for? Were you like, I want to learn how to
Well,
play this song, or I want to be like this band or anything?
I think that didn't really start until my first or second season that when I was a student at School of Rock over in Baltimore, Towson now with their region. It was I think it was like Out on the Tiles by Led Zeppelin or Moby Dick. That
All
was
right.
one. That was probably one that was my hurdle that almost made me quit playing guitar was both of those. But I eventually just told myself because I was probably around 14 or 15 at the time with those songs. And the only way I had to really practice it was just go back and forth with my parents' like multi CD player, and just like go back and forth and just like really just like speed up and just like oh I got to get back to this part and then just like rewind it to get back. So
Yeah.
I couldn't really do anything about that because we're better off nowadays now that we have the ability to just like pause and do 10 seconds back if we're learning on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, you
So
just click right on the part of the song you want to go to.
yeah, and then thankfully it was CD because if I was doing that on cassette tape, oh god.
Yeah, you probably would have ruined a few of your few cassette players.
I've already ruined a good bit of technology, most of my parents' chagrin. So
Hmm.
at least in that time. Thankfully I got out of that streak early in high school, so for the better on that.
Nice. So, obviously we've been kind of back and forth over the years, and I feel like it's tough to go back sometimes because even something like 10 years ago, it's hard to find like pictures or flyers and stuff from those days. But
Yeah.
remind me some of the bands you played with over the years.
Okay, so my first band that I actively played out with was like a hair metal throwback called the Euphorics back in the day. It was 2011 through 2013 we existed for that. It was me and my friends Ted Merrill and John Pondek that were in the band. And then my one of my most like longest bands I was in was a rockabilly act called Los Swamp Monsters. We
Okay.
were the band leader for that, CJ, he's the one that pretty much gave me the whole idea of not needing set lists to play out. And then just going for a thing where it's just like if we get a request for a song, just name the key and they'll be like, all right, we'll just go for it. And I was like, all right, follow me and do it like that.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
it's that chaotic energy that over the years I've slowly put that into my set lists and my shows because what happens is that like it's like what is the set list? It's whatever people want to hear, and that's my form of practice when it comes to shows.
Nice. Nice.
Mhm.
I'm the opposite. I play what I want people to hear. And sometimes it goes great, sometimes it doesn't, but and I
It's like
do
that
try to
too
honor requests.
when you don't have people biting with requests, then yeah, you want to play stuff that sets the motion for you. Then it gets people out of their shell and just be like, "Hey, can you play this?" And I'm like, "All right, sure."
Yeah, I try to honor requests when I can, but like every now and then people they don't understand the concept of that we don't know every single song that exists. So,
No, it's
um,
especially the case whenever I get a lot of country requests too. Where I have to tell them, like, look, I didn't grow up on country. It's just,
right, exactly. I've been trying
yeah,
to learn some country stuff, but it's so much easier to like learn stuff that I've listened to for years as opposed to
yeah.
like diving into a song that I've never heard and like trying to.
You feel more connected to it that way. Anyway, it's like that. Like, to be fair, with songs and country wise, like any kind of Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson or anything, that doesn't feel that bad because you can still feel the soul behind it as you're learning. So.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, man. I do remember. I remember Los Swamp Monsters. I remember that seeing that name around a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
they're actually doing some cool stuff in Tennessee now because CJ's still keeping the band going, but they ended up morphing into a Tejano sort of outfit where he'll go back and forth between the accordion, harmonica, and guitar.
okay,
So
that's
it just
interesting.
makes it a very very wild and spontaneous thing that I'm glad he's keeping it alive down there.
Yeah, no, one of the things we actually did one of those all-star jams together when we did Wish by Nine Inch Nails.
Yep,
Remember that? That was a lot of fun.
I remember that. I was just so happy to just be jamming on that one because when I was first listening to the song, I I barely knew anything by Nine Inch Nails. I only knew like the radio hits at the time. So when I was looking at it, I was just like, this groove's kind of sick. I'll be happy to listen to that. So
Yeah, it was fun time, and I know that there was a lot of fun to be had at those all-star jams, and I know that it was always cool teaming up with different people and putting together different songs. So
the pressure just kind of lifts because it doesn't feel as much like a high stakes show as much as it really is just collaborating and having fun with like your friends or people that eventually will become your buds depending on how you connect. So
cool. So remember what you're looking for is the name of the album. Real
yep.
quick before we talk about that, I just want to shout out Apocalypse Blues because I think that's such
Okay.
a sick jam
That's
from
yeah,
your
that's one off of my Invisible EP from back in 2016. That was recorded at Secret Sound Studios with John Grant.
nice. Yeah, that was a real cool one. And but I was mostly focused on listening to the new album and really kind of diving into that.
Yep.
So where did you record the new album at?
I was over at trying to remember exactly. This was at the studio that Dolly Parton's guitarist and musical director Kent Wells has, over in Franklin, Tennessee.
Okay,
And we did 7 of the songs down there, and he managed to get a really cool lineup of Nashville session musicians that did an awesome job. I remember the drummer like played on some tours with Paramore before too, and so that was cool. And Kent did a bunch of the lead guitar parts on the album, and everybody else, keyboards, bass wise, like slid in awesomely and did a great job. It
that's
was a
so cool.
cool process. It only took about a few sessions to really get it all done. After that, it was just about just the mixing and mastering process.
Nice. Yeah, the it definitely it's cool that you did it in Nashville because it definitely has like a country rock like vibe to a lot of the songs that because I know like the first EP you did was almost more like blues focused. This
Yeah.
one felt this one felt more like just kind of groovy and a lot more instrumentation and stuff involved.
The way that I look at writing and everything is that, but when I have a song idea, I just want to be able to just see where the song takes you. That's why I don't really consider myself like country or rock or anything. I'm just consider myself just more of a songwriter to just slide into whatever and just see whatever the song fits. You're just like, well, we'll write in this genre today. So
Nice. That's really cool. So I'm
yeah.
basically just going to go track by track here and you can feel free to share like if you want to talk about what the songs are about or just the
Sure.
process of recording them. But the first track but I Can Smile. As like within 30 seconds, I was like, this sounds like it could be like the theme song for like a TV show. It's just got like that kind of like joyful driving vibe to it. And I don't know if
That's
like
sort
that's
of the
something you were.
yeah, that's sort of the mission behind that. With that song, I wanted to look at it as just a way to just look at like a past relationship, like or a breakup or whatever, and just being like, well, I was like, well, that sucks, but we can have some sort of silver lining behind that, and that's why I just wanted to write with that optimistic upswing because you just see so many songs where it has that sort of feeling where it's just like the lyrics are bitter and the song is bitter itself, but when you get that opposite feeling, you're just like, oh, okay, that's different. And just wanted to come across that way, and happy it did.
Yeah, I think even just that lyric, but I Can Smile just sounds like one of those like little hooky lines you'd hear like at the end of that a lot of those theme songs are only like 30, 40 seconds, but it would just be like, leads right into the opening scene or whatever. But I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And with the tagline at the end, was like, it's a shame that's forever, but hey, I can smile. That's
Yeah,
basically the way with that. So,
cool. All right, the next song, What Could Go Wrong? I noticed this one had like more of a like a swing to it, and I also picked up that there's some like banjo back in there. At least
yeah,
I'm pretty
that
sure it was banjo.
that song took a little while to flesh out because that was one that I was writing at the time. I think Invisible came out for the EP, and I had recorded it with John Grant already, but I wanted to see if we could flesh it out a little bit more in that Nashville style. So that's why I was just like, you know what, I'll just save this for the album. And yeah, they were able to bring it to life nicely. And with What Could Go Wrong, it's just really just that whole feeling of just prospect of love, and just like it's mainly like the whole losing my religion song idea about being a crush, like having a crush and like writing about that. It really is with that for What Could Go Wrong, and just being like having a crush on somebody or something, and then just being like, hey, just give it a chance. If it works out, hey, great. If not, whatever. Going back to the but I can smile ideology there. So
Nice. The next song is On and On. Couple things I picked up on. I like the drum intro. I like the harmonies you got going on. But my favorite
yeah,
part of the song is actually the end. You have this like kind of like acoustic guitar driven like wind down for the song that I just thought was really well utilized there.
yeah, I wanted it to be a different type of ending for that song because as much as I had thought originally about just going back to I thought, nah, we need to do something different here with that, and I had gone back to some songs that I'd really enjoyed when it came to something with more of an orchestral sort of ending, but on the just the whole thing of just like letting the strings just sort of go down, and thought, well, if we're not going to do strings with this song, why don't we just try that kind of thing with a guitar instead? So,
Nice.
and
Yeah,
then
some
with the lyrics for On and On, it's more of that whole just hopeful feeling of that, and that's where the title of the album coming from, with "Remember What You're Looking For" being the tagline there. And with the way I have the album cover set, it really is just a thing where sometimes you just have to take a step back, look at how everything's forming in your life, and sometimes you just have to go out in a nice remote location, just stop and smell the roses. And there you go.
yeah, one of the things I thought about with that because I know that I'm almost generally like against like fade outs in songs. Like I like hearing how the song's supposed to end, but as I've gotten older, I've started to like appreciate like sometimes those songs that fade out, like they're almost like get stuck in your head a little bit how they end. And so I
Yeah,
was almost wondering like if you did like an extended version of that and then just faded it out, it would just kind of get stuck in your head. So that's what I was that just
it's
kind of made me think about
possible. I
that.
mean, it's possible that could work with that. I mean, that idea kind of came more into fruition with the last track of the album, which we'll get to later. But yeah, that's something where I had just never really thought about like having like fade outs before because different people that I've worked with for producing were just like, nah, you don't want to have to do a fade out. Just like have the song come naturally for that.
Yeah, like sometimes, I mean, obviously there's times where it feels forced, but then there's also times where like I have a song I'm working on right now and I was like, you know what? Like this might sound really cool if we like kind of fade it out. But yeah, that's a really cool song. Really excited to talk about the next one though. Everyone Is Gone was probably my favorite song on the record, on the album. I love the guitar intro, just lyrically, I related it to a lot. Tell me about that song.
That song also went through few different stages too. I originally recorded a demo of that with another band member from a band I was in called Beyond Empty. His name Ashley Maccabee, really awesome drummer, singer, and like really cool metal projects he's done. And so originally it was more of like a heavier ballad in a sense with this because originally with the guitars you had more of a sort of feeling with it all, but we mellowed it back with this track and with the lyrics. I think it's just more about that sense of isolation. I literally just equated it as just sort of a sequel to Apocalypse Blues, where instead of it having to be a blues track, it is just sort of looking at the fallout of whatever sort of like calamity the world is in. You could equate it to now. You could equate it to like a different dimension or whatever. But yeah, it is a sort of a story song in a way that you just don't know what's going on, and it can be omnipresent. It can be whatever you interpret it as. It's just a mixture of emotions you can get from it.
That's cool. It's interesting that you kind of see it as a continuation of Apocalypse Blues because that was another song I really liked. So like it's kind of cool. I guess maybe I just have a similar feeling about like what you're talking about in those songs. Like I just really kind of relate to that. So
Yeah, who knows? With the next album, we could have another song continue it, but a different genre like that too. So,
nice. Cool. All right. Next song is Hold On for a Moment. This song, first of all, it's in 3/4, so it's got like that kind of waltzy feel to it.
yeah.
It's also just got like a very dreamy feel to it in general. But I also
Mhm.
think the guitar solo in this song is like one of the best on the album. I don't know if you played it or someone else played it, but it just
I did
hits
play.
really well.
I played that one.
Nice.
There are a few that I play on the album. Most of them are either because 7 of the 10 tracks I worked on with Kent Wells, 3 of the 10 I worked on with John Grant. This is one of the ones with Kent Wells. He did a good portion of the guitar work when it came to the electric stuff, but when it came to the solo itself, that was me. You'll know it from just the rough angle that I go and just like that and everything to
I
where
mean,
it's like I'm not dynamic with stuff whatsoever. So like when you listen to my songs enough, you'll know when it's me doing it. So
well, I think there's something about when you have something in that 3/4 timing, and then like if you can just get the feeling right and you have the guitar solo, it just for some reason I think sounds like so much more epic, so much more impactful than I don't know. It's just something. I have a few songs that are like that, and whenever I pass them off to someone like, all right, like write a solo for this, they always like come in and just play like something that just sounds amazing.
yeah, and with the lyrical content with that, I actually was inspired by an old Elton John song in writing this called "I Need You to Turn To" off of his self-titled album.
Nice.
Because the way I had looked at it, it was just like it was very medieval in its writing as well as in its in its overall instruments. So I wanted to kind of give my own kind of spin on that, and that's why some parts just sound like I'm talking in ye old English with some stuff, but it's just one of those things where sometimes you just want to put yourself as a character, and if it works, that's the way it goes. So,
Nice. All right, the next song is 20th Times the Charm which to me is just got like a country rock anthem vibe to it. I
Yeah,
knew that there was definitely something that it was reminding me of, but I like couldn't place it. But it definitely just has that like just energy to it that feels like it would fit.
that's the Marshall took a listen to an hour or two of country radio and decided to write a song. That kind of song up there. And like basically with that, I got the whole thing of just sometimes I love to write in exaggerated tones, and that's why I just have that 20th times the charm title in there. And then like whenever I have to write in sort of like a playful, sarcastic tone, like it may not be as fun to write, but it like singing, it just has you just get kind of snarky, but sometimes that can be kind of fun. So
Yeah, I was digging it. I thought it had a great energy to it, so I thought that was cool.
yeah,
All right, the next song is "The Wrong Side of the Tracks," which is another 3/4 song.
yeah.
This one had I felt like had more like a sway to it, where you could kind of just get some moves going, but also great guitar solos on this song too.
Yeah, that so with the John Grant tracks, he actually did all the stuff on there aside from the vocals and acoustic guitar. So he's pretty awesome multi-instrumentalist in his own right, as well as producer.
Nice.
So with him, the drums and everything, like I barely tell people this, but he literally just had the drums on a keyboard, and that's just how he did that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of that with when I do stuff with Tony. We might know we want to do real drums later, but we'll usually
Mhm.
put at least some kind of placeholder in.
Yeah, and then
But it's always
sometimes
funny watching them
sometimes
like try to
yeah,
play it on
sometimes
the
the
keys.
placeholder just sounds that good, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then with the Grant tracks, on and on, wrong side of the tracks, and who is out there are the Grant songs on there. Everything else is Kent Wells.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the next song was another one of my favorites, Underground. This one's a bit more driving, a little more like just kind of like just energy coming at you. For some reason, I don't know why, but it actually I think it was the vocals. They kind of gave me like a Bruce Springsteen type of vibe,
Hmm.
just like the energy and like the just like the attitude in it. Like I'm not like a big Springsteen guy. Like I can't tell you a song it sounds like, but that's just what it made me think of listening to
Yeah.
this one.
I got an interesting comment when I had submitted it to a local radio station called 97.3 The River, where someone equated it to like a sort of like a Billy Idol sort of song, so type of
Okay.
song and everything. Where I was just like, I kind of hear that after hearing the finished product. But yeah, like doing the whole vocal for Underground is like whenever I get a chance to sing with that rasp and like really drive it, like that can be like some of the most fun stuff. Like, and just having that like that, and just having a good old time with it. You do want to just go back to your rock roots, and with Underground, it made me just feel like kind of how I feel now with stuff to where you can just take any kind of personalities that like any time that you see people are just like, oh, why are you doing this, why are you doing this, he's like, you got to throw opinions out the window and just stay true to yourself if you really feel you know what you're doing and what you believe in. And that's essentially what Underground's about.
Nice. Yeah. I I just remember thinking like this would be a fun song to like I don't know how often you play with the band. I know you probably do a lot of like acoustic gigs. I don't know if you put together little groups, but I bet that that would be like a fun song to play.
I'm trying to put together a group. I just need to get a few more members rounded up, but I do want to get some stuff started next year when it comes to playing these originals out with an original band.
Nice. Cool. All right, so the next song is I Think I Miss You. And this was definitely it seemed like one of the more like emotionally driven songs on the album. I don't know if you want to talk about the lyrical themes of it, but that definitely came through in the production and the vocals.
Fun fact, this is actually one of the first songs that I ever wrote, and at least that one that like I had kept. because I wrote a lot of like throwaway pieces in high school, but this was in my first year of college that I wrote this song, and at least the acoustic context and the whole melody when I was done when I was 19. And this was one that I'd just been trying to get right in different forms because I had recorded it with the Euphorics before, and it had more of like a heavier metal-y side to it. But I had just felt the need to just see what it would be like in an Americana country sense if we tried that. And I was pretty happy with how it turned out because of the just overall production and everything. And when it came to the lyrics, that's just more of a case where I got inspired by a bunch of different like mid to late 2000s acts when it came to just singing about broken hearts and everything. And I just really just wanted to try to convey a good catchy tune with that chorus. And that's one of the reasons that I just stayed very insistent on just wanting to really get it right. And I think I did with this one.
Yeah, it's definitely it definitely you definitely capture the emotions in that song. It's always tough to you know, I've had older songs that I've been kind of repurposing for my solo band, and it's always kind of interesting because you don't want to obviously you don't want to like I don't want to like feel like I'm ripping off what the band did or whatever, but like sometimes I just know like all right, like it didn't quite work in that band. Let me see if I can try to get like more of a the feeling I want for it. And so
I mean,
I don't know if that
especially
was the case with you, but
it works more like when you know like you were the sole writer of it, pretty much.
yeah,
To where like the only thing that I really like lifted from the Euphorics version was some bits of the guitar solo, and I did that in respect to Ted because I think he played it that well on there. So it
nice,
was really that. Everything else is original when it comes to the solo. Those are the only notes on there.
nice.
And
Yeah,
I want to acknowledge that. And Ted and his dad, like everybody knows about it. I it hasn't been a problem yet, and if it is, I'll be happy to adjust the writing if that's the case. So
I mean, more often than not, I find my bandmates don't care anymore.
yeah.
But it's funny how it's just I just think it's an interesting thing. I know there's a lot of bands that have dealt with that
Mhm.
that type of scenario. It's like you got a good song, and it's like you know it could be better, or like you know you want to do it a certain way. I mean,
You
I've
just want to
re-recorded some of
you
my
want to see what can be done anyway. So
yeah. I mean, I have some of my songs I've re-released them like three different ways. You know, just
Mhm.
because I was like, oh, well, let me try see how hear how it sounds this way. All
are
right,
we
the last.
are we gonna hear the Will Sims trap remix album soon?
I mean, um, I mean, I don't know if you heard my new Amber Eyes EP, but I got a remix on that, and I am actually like looking at doing like some remix type stuff for some of my songs,
Oh,
just to have that kind of stuff out there. You know,
that's
I think,
awesome.
I think it's fun. All right, last song on the album, "Who Is Out There." I noticed, you know, there's a lot of like pretty much acoustic vocal driven parts in the song with like the band coming in certain spots.
Mhm.
So is I know you probably do like a lot of acoustic style shows. Is this like a song you play at some of those shows?
Yeah, so with Who Is Out There, and really all of the songs, they all start off on acoustic because I want to be able to just make sure they can be parts that sound good on electric, sound good on acoustic, because I love stuff like the MTV Unplugged albums. So that's something I always look at. Is just like, can it have that same, if not better, feeling on one form versus another? And with Who Was Out There, that's one where I got stuck while writing it for a little while because I really just had the beginning riff and nothing really else. Because it was just a dun, 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 dun. I was like, this is good, but else can I do with it and everything? So and eventually that's one that actually got done in the studio because I was kind of forced to make a melody out of it on the spot. And I was just like, okay, we'll try it like this. But I had bad luck because I got laryngitis during those sessions, and so that song got kind of affected by that because I didn't give the vocal that I wanted to. But John really helped fix it to a point where it felt very natural, and I was happy with the result on that.
Yeah, I think it's cool when a song has a dynamic like that because I mean, for one, it makes the song pop more, but like then you can kind of really dig into those acoustic vocal things, make them really really breathy and emotional, and then, when the band comes in, it just lifts the song up that much more.
Yeah, that's why I like the minimalist approach when it comes to just having the percussion underneath the acoustic and the vocals, because I want to be able to get it so that way it at least like shows that there's different sides to a song that's like multi-dimensional you can do, and it doesn't have to just stay in one constant like line throughout the whole thing. Thing.
Yeah. But that's cool, man. So that's the album, 10 songs. I think it's really cool. And I didn't notice listening to it that it was recorded in two different studios. I think that's pretty cool that the production turned out pretty good. Like there's nothing too obvious there.
Yeah, both of them have a great ideology in their approaches. So I definitely have to shout out Kent Wells and John Grant for doing awesome work on that stuff.
Nice. And you said the plan, I guess, is to get a band and hopefully next year start doing some band gigs.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. Like anywhere we can just sort of just like toss it out there and see if we want to just be able to continue it and like really see, because it's basically just a trial run and kind of like I did with the whole album and recording it and just being like, is it good enough to play and kind of a thing like
Yeah.
that. So, because with some of the songs will be a little bit harder to capture than others. So that's why I do want to really look for people that can be versatile and that have a good range of vocal support that they can give.
Nice. Well, I'll probably put like a feature one of the songs at the end of the audio episode so people can hear what you did. I'll probably either do Everyone Is Gone or Underground, but
That's
really
fine.
excited.
Both of those are two out of my three favorites, I think, on the album.
Nice. What would be your third favorite then?
Third favorite, I would say, would probably be On and On, just because like as the album has like garnered life, like the message has just sort of captured my heart more. So
Nice. That's cool. All right. So yeah, definitely go check out that album. And you're pretty much everywhere is Marshall Stone, so people can check you out there.
yeah, you can find me on different platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. And official website is marshallstonemusic.com, where you can find different things for the original music.
Nice. Cool. So before we wrap up, I usually like to throw out a few like fun hypothetical questions. Just just to have some fun here.
Yeah, go
Uh,
crazy. I don't mind going for the insane ones if we have to.
yeah, I always try to read people to see how into it they are. But like obviously, like you're a musician, so one of the ones I always ask is like if you could like there's always that dream scenario of if you got to like fill in for like a band, like if you could fill in for any band in any spot, like what would it be?
Okay. I would say like I would love to like sing for like in a scenario where Genesis was still touring, like I would love to sing for them.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Nice. All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Jeez. I, I I wouldn't say eternal life because I think that would be too easy.
Cheat code,
Probably
yeah.
probably just speed, just because like I'd want to be able to see like how accurate I can be on a guitar, or also just be able to get to places a lot quicker too. because and anything to just bypass traffic. So
Yes, traffic is that was one of the first things I think about: speed or flight or teleport. Just like, but it's fun too. You think about it like for guitar, just like you just do like the crazy fastest solos ever.
or if you're just wanting to just speed up and like get past and just be like, hey, I don't need a car. You speed and then you see some streak marks and just like, where'd he go? And you just hit a car. You're like, ah.
All right, so if you could have like obviously you're a great musician and everything, but if you could have any other talent, what would it be?
Hmm. Let's see. I would love to be able. Um, I mean, like I would love to be able to just go into like working on stuff like computers and arcades or game consoles, and just be able to like take dead systems or anything and just like work and bring them back to life. Like some different videos that I see, because there's this one guy that just it stays silent throughout the video, and he works on restoring like dead consoles, like an N64 or GameCube or 360 that's like ringed or something. I would love to be able to just like take stuff apart and just be able to know exactly what to do within first glance.
That's pretty cool. I would love to be able to like I don't know, like program or make a game, but not like a game now, more like a retro game.
Yeah,
Like for example, like you've got like one of the games I loved as a kid. They were super hard, but it was like the Super Star Wars games,
yeah,
and they they had them for the original trilogy. It's like, well, why don't they just make those for all of the movies? Like I feel
hmm
like that would be easy money, but they're out
yeah.
there trying to make like these AAA games, and they just keep bombing.
Yeah, well, with making a game, like I would love to just like make video game soundtracks because like parts of my song ideas are just like, okay, is this going to be a commercial song or is it going to be a soundtrack?
Nice.
Everything like
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. There's some games I love their soundtracks, and it's definitely made me like Metroid, the Metroid Prime games in particular. Their soundtracks were always like so atmospheric and moody. I could just sit and listen to those for a while.
Great songs. I've been really getting into the Persona series lately and enjoying their soundtracks a ton, like for the different
Nice,
genres and everything.
nice. All right. What's your go-to snack? Like a midnight snack, or just if you're at the gas station and you're like, I want to grab something.
Do not have anything that's cookie and chocolate chip put together because I will devour that.
Nice. There it is. Plain and
Hmm.
simple. Chocolate chip
Yeah,
cookies.
yeah.
Um, all right. Last one. What's one place you've always wanted to visit?
Oh man, that is tough because that's a thing that's one of the things that keeps me going. Is I love to travel and I want to be able to see a bunch of different places. Nowadays, I'm trying to think because I want to be able to go to Colorado and go to like a Rocky Mountainish area and just see just like different landscapes around there. And if I had to think of a close second, it would probably be let's see, really just anything having to do with like some great views. So stuff like uh, stuff like New Zealand, for example, when it comes to just seeing just some of the backgrounds for like some Lord of the Rings shots and everything too. Like
Yeah,
I
I
would
could
love to be able
imagine
to see that.
that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think about like just going to like it'd be cool to go to Europe. Never been to Europe, or even like some of those just like southeastern Asia countries where they just have like just the most beautiful views and stuff. So, but
That
yeah,
really is the thing for me is just anything with a great view, just take in.
Nice. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you doing this, and
No
uh,
worries. Thank you for
so
having me.
yeah, it's good to catch up. And I saw you just played at Gen Gen's I just played up there like a month ago. They were doing like a fundraiser thing. It was a pretty cool spot.
I saw that. How was it over there?
I thought it was nice. There was a nice little crowd there. It's it's like it's not like a big place, but they have like a really cool setup. Got a nice little patio. I love the they had like some chairs out there that had like these like cool like designs on them and stuff
Yeah,
on the
they
patio.
accommodate nicely. They're a nice little neighborhood bar. That like I definitely recommend seeing about doing more shows there.
Nice. Cool, man. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks again for doing this, and hope to see you soon, man.
Thank you so much. You have a good one, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
Check out the links in the description to hear more from Marshall Stone and check out his new album, Remember What You're Looking For, available on streaming services now.